quote him, Dravida Acharya, but what exactly is the other name we don't know. Even Shankara quotes. That means even before Shankara's period. When Dravida Acharya was there, and his famous statement is Nivartakam Shastram. Shastram is only meant for Nivarti. He doesn't ask you to do anything. Entire Shastram, entire Veda, he says. Nivartakam Shastram. That is why I was telling, the Swarga Kamaha Ejayit. The sense, if you are interested in Surga, you do, because Shastra doesn't commit that you are a Karta. It doesn't say that you are a Karta, you are supposed to do and all that, it doesn't say. That now Bhagavan says, in his own words he is saying now. 14 and 15 is going to talk about that. So let us read that. Yeah.
Knowing that Atma performs no action, one is free from any doing. Na kartavyam na karmani.
Na kartrutvam.
Kartrutvam na karmani. Lokasya prasajati prabhu na karmapala
samyogam.
Karmapala samyogam. Swabhavastu pravartite vartate. Prabhu, the one who is effulgent. Atma. Effulgent. Atma. Lokasya, for any person. Kartritvam. Doership. Na srijati, does not create. Na karmani, srijati.
Srijati means stitching together. And the stitching, even that English word stitching and srijati almost matches. Srijati means stitching.
For the connection with the results of action. But swabhavaha, one's own nature, pravartate, leads to action. Atma creates neither doership nor action for any person, nor the connection with the results of action. But one's own nature leads to action. In this verse, we are told why the wise person can remain happily in the physical body. Existence cannot be established unless there is consciousness. The self-efficient, self-existent, self-effulgent Atma is called Prabhu here. This Prabhu, Kartrutva Nasrajati Lokasya, does not create doership for the person. Atma does not issue order to anyone and therefore does not create doership in anyone. Doership can be created in you if someone orders you, please do this, and you do it. Atma does not ask anyone to do anything, nor does it ask the mind, the intellect, or the memory to do, to think, to decide. It does not say, come on, recollect, get depressed, get angry, learn Vedanta. It does not issue such orders to anyone. It is not the cause of doership within oneself, nor is it the cause of anyone else's doership. The person who knows this was described in the previous verse as a Vasi, meaning master, one who is seated happily inside the nine-gated city, the physical body, just as a king sits in his walled city with many gates. There is, however, as in all illustration, a defect in this comparison between a king and a Vasi. Even though others do the work, yet the king is the Karta, the doer. He sits on his throne, wearing a crown, and wields the royal scepter of power. The question
I was telling he is like the Yajamana. So the example should be taken only at the face value. We should not stretch it too much. That is the difference between an example and what it is trying to convey. So here, the weakness in this example is the king and all his subjects are in the same level of reality. Whereas when Atma is talked about sitting in the nine-gated city, Atma's reality is different. Whereas all other mind, intellect, everything, the reality is different. They are all Vyavahara Yogya. Whereas Atma is Purnam and it is not a thing, it is a being, which I have told. So it's a different level of reality. So that comparison, the level of realities are different. But otherwise, king and the subjects and Atma and all these are are comparable. That's what he is trying to tell here. Yeah.
The question now is Atma also a doer like a king? Is Atma seated in its inner chambers, ordering the mind, intellect, and so on, to do various actions? If so, Atma would also be a karta, doer. In response to this question, Lord Krishna says that Atma does not create or cause doership, kartratvam na srajati, meaning that even indirectly, Atma is not involved in doing anything. A question may arise here. Well, I can understand that Atma is not a doer. Is it not the Atma that makes the mind and senses function? Even the Sruti describes Atma as Srotrasya, Srotram, ear of the ear, Manaso Manaha, mind of the mind, Kaksuka,
Chakshusha.
Chachus,
Chakshusha.
Chakshuhu. Yeah.
Chachusha, Chakshuhu, eye of the eye, and so on. Since Atma is said to be behind all the functions, does Atma not order all of them? Krishna says here, no, it is not so. Atma does not create karma. Atma does not create any action. Karmani na srijati, meaning that Atma performs no action. Karmani na karoti. Thus, na srijati does not create, is understood as na karoti, does not do. Atma does not perform action directly or indirectly. If we translate the word karmani in its grammatical sense, then the phrase karmani na srijati means that Atma does not create objects. Karma in grammar means the object of a verb such as chariot, pot, house, and so on. These are called objects in terms of action. For instance, when you say, he makes a pot, she bakes a cake, the children eat food, the objects like pot, cake, food, etc. are not created by Atma. Atma neither performs actions nor creates objects. Karmani na srijati. So the word karmani here can be understood as the object of an action as well as action itself. Atma also does not create karma phala, samyoga.
Karma phala samyogam. That is connection between karma and phala. The karma phala samyogam also it does not create. Yeah.
Since the results of action accrue to the karta, the doer, Krishna also says that Atma does not create this connection between the result of an action and the doer. Na karma phala samyogam srijati. The results of action are in keeping with the laws of Ishvara. But here, we are talking about Ishvara's Swarupa. It is also Atma, the self. Since Atma neither creates doership nor object, it also does not create the connection between one's action and the results of action. If Atma does not do anything, who is it that does all this? Krishna says, Svabhavastu pravartate. One's own nature engages itself. We saw this in verse 9 of this chapter when Krishna said, the sense organs engage themselves in the sense objects. The sense organs are Swabhava. The eyes see, the ears hear, the mind thinks, the intellect decides, and so on. Due to lack of discrimination, one superimposes these activities on Atma, which is why one thinks, I am the doer, I am the thinker, and so on. Since people do not know that there is this superimposition, Krishna discusses it in the next verse.
Yeah, see, it's very important. These are all very path-breaking statements made by Bhagavan himself. We have to, unless we take ownership of these verses, we will not be able to make it a reality in our life. It's very important for us to understand that the Atma is the Swarupa of the individual as well as Ishvara. Atma means a awareful being, which I have been telling and which Gita also has been telling right from beginning. So, the awareful being is the pramana. There is a pramana, sabda pramana. Straight away, Shastra says, you are there. I have been telling. You are there. I am here. there is I got my mind, my intellect, my body, my senses, and because of that mind, body, intellect, senses coordinating, which has been going on for ages, not only in this Janma, but in earlier Janma, we have been generally doing. Whenever we get hungry, we go and eat. Whenever we feel thirsty, we go and drink. Whenever we feel like getting entertained, mind wants some change, then we go and put on the TV. All these things are all going on. There is definitely somebody coordinating all these things and making our life either good or bad or ugly, whatever you call it. So, here in these verses, in Gita, right from beginning, Bhagavan has told it is not the Atma, it is the Swarupa of the individual. As far as Ishvara, Atma, the being, is not the thing that is asking you to drink or eat or think or go play, entertain yourself, get married, all those things. It is not there. There is some coordinator which all of us know in our colloquial language, ego. Ego, or you can say, Nangra or Manapanmai. Non, whatever we think as non, I. We have been, with that fellow, we have been operating the whole life. All of us, we have been operating the whole life. And that I is not Atma. Bhagavan, in his own words, he says that categorically, he says, it is not Atma. It is not Swarupa of Ishvara. Then who is this? Which I have been telling that Adayada Virundali, uninvited guest in a marriage hall, ego. But how come he got so much? He is not even a real entity. Even at least mind, intellect, body, they are all available for operation. But here there is a fellow inside who is coordinating all this and he is not even there. There is no reality for him. How come he has been making us fools all these years of our life, and for Janmas it has been going on? That Bhagavan himself has explained that it is a Maya Prakriti. Prakritim Swam Adhishtaya Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. At that larger picture, that colossal, that Jagat level, Atma Mayaya, Bhagavan says. And as far as you are concerned, your own Maya like Avidya. In the sense that you don't know, that's all. That Atma is my Swarupam. All these are only instruments. With these instruments, I have to do whatever I need to be doing in terms of the role play I do, but I don't have to think that it is me. It is not I. It is not for my pleasure. All these things are being done. It is all being done because I am put in a situation. I am in a society and I have to do certain things. In the family, I have to do certain things. I am in a job, I have to do certain things. That's all fine. But that it is all being done for my Atmanastu Kamaya Sarvam Priyam Bhavati. That it's all going to enhance my life. That is a mistaken thing. Because your life is already enhanced. As awareful being, you are already Purnam. Bhagavan equates himself with you. Ishvara and you are one and the same. What more you need? You don't need anything bigger than being Ishvara. Okay, so that part is making it clear. Then what is this? But it has been going on. At the larger level it is called Maya. At our level it is called Avidya. Avidya meaning not knowing the reality. That's all. Not that we don't know. We know that even the ego knows that I exist. But it doesn't know the real Swarupa. Instead of taking it as Atma, it takes it as mind, body, senses and all the put together whatever activities that are going on, objects and all that. That is life. That is what we are thinking. And we have been going on like that. That because of that, taking ourselves to be otherwise, it is called avidya. Instead of taking tasmin tad buddhi, we take it as atasmin tad buddhi. Meaning, yathartham illada vazhkai. Yathartham illada vazhkai. What is rightfully to be understood has been wrongly understood that we are living. Now, we have to, at some point in time, we have to own it up. No, this cannot go on like this. Bhagavan has told. I have been reading Gita and I am finding it very clear, categorical. When he says that your Swarupa is Atma, the awareful being, and I am able to see my mind, body, intellect and all my activities, even my ego. I know that somebody tells me something condescendingly, insulting and all that, I get angry because my ego is getting agitated, and all I am observing. Even my ego I am observing. It is not that I don't know. I am getting angry, I know. If I am alert to that, if I am alert to my being as I, the being as Atma, I know that I am getting angry, I am getting insulted. That means what? You are observing that. What you observe, which I have been already right from beginning telling, what I observe is other than me. Anything, if I am able to observe this, that means it is other than me. The same logic you have to apply to our own mind, our own body. When my body gets hurt, I know, I observe it. That means I am not the body. Body is me. Body is looking for my help, but I am not the body. Same way in the mind, some insult, some emotion, I am observing. Intellect, I know what I know. I know French, I don't know French, I know English. So I know my limitations of my intellect. So I know my body, my mind, my intellect, my emotions, even my ego I know. Since I am seeing all that, that awareful being which is seeing all these things is the real I. All these they are part of the Prakriti. Bhagavan says Prakriti. Prakriti meaning, you can, so many ways you can explain Prakriti. Sattva guna, Rajo guna, Tamo guna combination. Or you can say what you call what is that? Panchabhuta Prakriti. Inside Panchabhutam, outside Panchabhutam, they are interacting. Or the entire what you call life, ambition, all those things which I have developed all these years. That is the Prakriti which is driving me. Like Duryodhana said, I know what is right, but I can't but do it. I know what is wrong. I know right, I cannot do it. I know what is wrong, but I can't but do it. Because that is my Prakriti. That is my Swabhava. Here, Bhagavan also says the same thing. Swabhavam. Because of your Swabhavam, you are impelled by your Swabhavam, you are living your life. Whereas your Swarupa is Atma. That he has told in the 14th sloka. And he has told, he has been telling right from the beginning. Now 15th sloka is confirming it further. Let us read 15th. Yeah.
Swamiji, that slokam Kayana Vacha, it says Prakritehe Swabhavat.
Exactly. But the problem is you don't inquire. We just mechanically say that every day, every puja, and forget it. Prakrite Subhavat. Like I told, no, Kamo Karshin, Manero Karshin, Namo Namaha. Kamathanala Pandren, Kovathanala Pandren, Na Panle Artham. Appa yaar kosam Pandre? Na Panle na Artham. Appa nee alla, neither, that means you are not affected by Kama or Krodha. Then where is the problem? Then be a happy person, no, all the time. You are neither affected by Kama nor by Krodha means life is made, over. So, because of our identification, wrong identification, that is called avidya. Avidya means it's not that you don't exist. You exist very much. But you understand yourself, you take yourself otherwise. That's all. Our life's problem is taking ourselves to be otherwise, other than what we are. Because that Shastra says, Agrahanam Karanam Anyata Grahanam Karyam. Because you don't know yourself as a awareful being, you are taking your ego as you. Because you cannot operate in a vacuum. You have to operate somewhere. But okay, that means my name, family, my father, mother has given me the name. This is my body, 5 feet 7 inches and so much kilos. And this is my qualification. And this is my job, this is my family, this is me, this is my identification. Anything that affects me, I will be affected. All those things we have built up on a wrong base. The whole life has been built on a wrong base. Now, only way you can't keep on removing one by one, brick by brick. You have to just understand what is the reality. That's all. Once you understand, look at all of them as Prakriti. Bhagavan says, Bhagavan Krishna himself says, look at it all as Prakriti. Because he is also in the midst of Prakriti only, doing a war, trying to convince Arjuna to fight. But he also knows, neither Arjuna nor Krishna himself are affected, in the sense as Swarupa, as being. But as part of the Prakriti, we have to do things, that's all. But you have to understand. Once you understand, then life becomes like which I have been always discussing, like a movie, like a long dream. All that. Play our role. Play to the script properly. Like Amitabh Bachchan playing the role of a beggar. Pakka. Do it nicely. Without any regret, without any Kama or Krodha. do the dharma, swadharma. All that is possible. Once that understanding, that your understanding of Swarupa is clear, then everything else, every other part of dharma falls in place. You will not have any hesitation to follow dharma. And like Nachiketas told, the dharma adharma will not take me long. As long as I don't understand what is my nitya vastu, what is my Swarupa, I will not, some point of time I will do a dharma. Even though I've got a great value for dharma, but some point in time I will do a dharma, it will not hold me long because unless I know my reality as Nityam, Atma Swarupam. Anale enak adha solli kodu nee dharma la enak vaandam. He says, I know a lot of dharma, I've seen my father is doing a lot of homa and all that. I know a lot of dharma. You don't have to teach me. He tells Yamadharma Raja in his face, you tell me what is dharma tanyate, adharma tanyate. Atma Swarupam na enna actually good. That is precisely what Krishna is trying to tell us. And in his own words, he tells us very clearly. First 14 he has told, now 15 is going to explain further. Let us read 15. Yeah.
Verse 15. People are deluded because knowledge is covered by ignorance. Nātate kasyachit papam nachaiva sukrutam vibhuhu ajnenam
Ajnanena avrutam jnanam
tena muhyanti jantavaha. Vibhuhu, the all-pervasive, that is Atma. Kasyachit, of anyone. Papam, papa, na adate, does not take. Sukritam, punya, chana eva, and indeed not. Ajnanena, by ignorance. Jnanam, knowledge. Avritam is covered. Tena, due to that is ignorance. Jantavaha, people. Muhyanti, are deluded. The Atma takes neither papa nor punya of anyone. Knowledge is covered by ignorance, and due to that ignorance, people are deluded. It was said earlier that Atma does not create the connection between one's actions and the results. This is being explained here by saying that Atma does not take on punya or papa because Atma does not have bhoktrutva, enjoyership. It is one luminous self that lights up the antakarana. Atma is called drishta, seer, because seeing cannot take place without Atma, but in reality Atma is the very swarupa of the seer and not the seer in the primary sense. The seer is Atma, but Atma is not the seer. Atma's nature is Chaitanya, pure consciousness, which is why it is referred to as the ear of the ear, the eye of the eye, and so on. Therefore, there is no connection between Atma and the results of action. Neither punya nor papa of anyone is taken by Atma. If this is so,
why we are having this Atma should do Shanti Adayana and Cholita, we are doing those Karyam and all when someone dies, no? We say Atma.
That is all. That Atma is that Sukshma sense, mistaken Atma only. Your Surupa Atma does not need any Shanti and all. It is all mistaken Atma. We are very sure that we are going to be born again. We are going away ignorant. We are very clear about it. That is why that Atma ko Shanti pandradhukku, at least you take care that next time you get a good birth and all that. We do all this.
And the Atma vere, in the Atma vere, Swamiji.
This Atma is reality. That Atma is mistaken Atma. Avidya, Karya, Avidya. Yeah.
Okay.
If this is so, why do people think?
No, 1 minute. People say Punyatma, Papatma. What is all this?
Yeah, that is all. That is all mistaken only. Just a minute. Just hold on.
Mistaken Atma na appo and idu kadayada. Chuma da pandroma karma ne.
Yeah, that Atma actually refers to physical body only. Shariram. It's not that Atma inside.
No, the Atma we are reading here is different.
It's Atma is Swarupa, our Swarupa.
See, after we die, we have an Atma, right? That Atma and the Atma we are reading is the same.
That Atma is yourself, your vasanas, mind, everything you go. It's different.
No, but we are reading that Atma has no vasanas, nothing at all. Yeah, but here, after death, one Atma, it is having vasanas, it is having all those Shanti, it is enraged, it is full of vidula, so a little confused. That's why
Yes, the thing is that the Atma we say, even body is also referred to as Atma, colloquially. That is all there. But the Atma that is being talked about here is the Swarupa. Is the Swarupa of the being and the Ishvara Swarupa. All that. The Atma is mistaken. That when you say Atma does not have a body, and even body per se, body is also, it's a Namakaranam only. We think that Panchabhuta put together is called body. Even that body is not a real body as such. It is only Panchabhuta put together. Outside also Panchabhuta, inside also Panchabhuta. Where is the question of a body? It is all just for for transaction purpose we are saying that body. This is all Namakaranam. That is why it is only Nama Rupa, Vacharambanam, Vikaram, Namadeyam. That is the reality, and that is the operating reality. For purpose of operation, for communication, we are using all these names and forms and all that. Even body and all per se does not exist, number one. Number two, here the Atma that is being talked about is the Swarupa, that right from like what Nasate Vidyate Bhavaha, Nabhavo Vidyate Taha, Ubayora Vidishtandaha to Anayoho Tattva Darshibihi. Number second sloka in the second chapter talks about Atma. He says Sat Atma. Sat Atma means always there. Can you, when you are precisely saying that when Atma, Shanti Adhyatma, Atma is going somewhere means what? It is not that Atma which is being talked about. We are talking about as Atma which doesn't go anywhere, doesn't come anywhere, it is not there as a, does not have a body, does not have any Papa, Punya, the being, the Swarupa, right now. As of us, all the three or four of us are talking, five of us are talking. The Atma is in you, the Atma in me, everyone is one and the same. That Atma we are talking about. Everything else, whatever is different between you and me and everyone, that is discounted. That is not Atma. That is part of the Prakriti. That's what Bhagavan says. Prakriti means Prakarshena. This is what is available in front of you for transaction. It is Prakarshana means attracts you. Prakriti means Prakarshena. Prakarshena means it attracts you for interaction. It attracts you for interaction. That is called Prakriti. And Atma is not. Atma is the same in all. Same in all. There is no limbs, Niravayavayam and Desha Kala Vastu Aparichinnam. Meaning it's not born in time, not gone in time, does not have a space, or does not have even, it's not even a Vastu, it's not a thing. So that Atma we are talking about, that is our Swarupa. That we have to, in the sense, what I am trying to say, right from beginning, from the second chapter, we have to be alert to that understanding, that reality of the being. Adu vandu ukarnam, must sit in our understanding, that the being in all of us is one and the same. Okay, we have been living like, we have been thinking that I Prashant is Atma all these years. That there is an Atma, there is a Prashant who is a role player. Being is Atma, the Amitabh Bachchan. Prashant himself is only a role player. That has to be clear.
Okay. Got it. Swamiji, what I feel is, just now I thought of it, Atma Shanti Adaya Pratikaro, with the sense, Atma, that particular birth. Suppose some X dies, Atma of X. It's not the universal Atma, that is the Atma which is indestructible, which is all-pervading, like Jivatma. That Jivatma is the permanent one. And whereas Atma Shanti is for the particular birth.
That is true.
Not the X like that. It's not the X universal Atma.
Jiva Paramatma. ஒரு ஸ்லோகமே இருக்கு. There is no Jiva and Jiva Atma and Parama separate from Paramatma. There is only one Atma. Pratyek Atma is Paramatma. But the thing is that we assume that Paramatma means Ishvara, Jiva Atma means I. Yes, that is how we start our life. That goes on till the time we understand that Pratyek Atma is Paramatma. Like Bhagavan himself is saying, your Swarupa and my Swarupa are one and the same Atma. He has categorically he has told from Krishna's, Bhagavan's own words. It is not that he has made it very clear. Your Swarupa and my Swarupa is Atma. That Atma we are talking about, he is Paramatma only, he is Brahmatma, whatever you Pratyek Atma, whatever you call it. But that Atma does not have any Shanti and all that. When we do the obsequies when somebody dies, we are doing it for the Sukshma Sharira that goes with all the baggage of Punya and Papa, and we are definite that it is going to go and take another Stula Sharira as a birth. That is the model again. Exactly what happens we don't know. The model of Shastra explanation is you are when you leave your body, it is something like the fragrance, the vayu carrying the fragrance from one flower to another flower. Your karma mutai will be taken from this body to another body. Now that this body is useless, it will go to another body. And the Shastra gives a certain model in terms of, okay, till the time it takes another body, it will have all the, like even in a dream, when we go into a dream, when Kumar goes into a dream, the dream also Kumar behaves like Kumar only, no? He doesn't take any other name. He takes the body of Kumar only in the dream. And Kumar only dreams, right? Even though Kumar per se, the waking person, is not available in the dream. But still, when the dream, when you are operating, when you are crying, when you are laughing, you operate as Kumar only. That's the Sukshma Sariram in the dream also is Kumar only. In the same way, as long as you don't understand Atma, when you leave your body, when you die, you will go as Kumar only for some time, till the time you can take another body. So that Kumar, the Sukshma Sariram with the baggage, is being done Shanti. All our Shanti karma is meant for that. So that you are in a halfway house. Actually, they call it in Shastra, in the Garuda Puranam, you are in a halfway house. Till the time you take another body. So till the time you take another body, your halfway house body should be in good shape. You should not go into some river and sink and all that. So they do them all the 13 days function, 13-month function, everything is being done. So that other people are trying to help you out so that you take you another body. But that is all a model. That is all a model that reconfirms that you are mistaken as a separate entity from Vishwara. Your body, mind, senses, your karma, kama, your baggage is the you with which you are traveling, because you have not yet understood. If you have not understood, and then for you there is no obsequies. For example, in my own case, I have done all the obsequies. I have already done Pinda Pradhanam, everything over. My body is gone. When my body goes, nobody will do any karma and all that. So that is how it is. That is the reality. That is the reality. So you just act as Atma, that's all. This body is just an instrument, period. As long as it is there, just keep it alive, keep it going. When the day it falls, it's fine, over. That understanding, that disidentification with your body, mind and senses and karma and all has to happen. That is the understanding which you are talking about. That understanding comes with the understanding that Bhagavan talks about, Atma Swarupam. And that understanding, once it is there, thereafter whatever you do with your body and all will be like Amitabh Bachchan playing the role of a beggar. Just do what is needed to be done in your role. You will do it with all the full freedom. That is the freedom which you are talking about. Karmanyeva adhikarahate, when Bhagavan says in the Sutra Vakyam of Karma Yoga, that is what he is talking about. Karmani, unak enna problem? Once you know you are Purnam Brahma Aham Asmi, Karmanyeva, you do whatever you need to be doing in the current situation, wherever you are, whether it is office or anywhere. Just do what is to be done, that's all. That is the freedom he is talking about. Freedom in action. That is what he is talking about. Freedom in action. Here also he is talking about the same thing. You are not doing anything. That things are being done in Prakriti. In your individual life, it is done through to Avidya. In Samashti, it is done through Prakriti. Bhagavan himself says, Prakritim Swam Adhishtaya Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. This whole Prakriti is going on around me. Prakritim Swam Adhishtaya Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. That he himself says. As far as you are concerned also, once you understand your Surupam and Ishvara Surupam being the same, you have to also say the same thing. Prakritim Swam Adhishtaya Bhavami Atma Mayaya. Because of my Prakriti, all these things are happening around me. I will do whatever I need to do, I will do. That way, doing, keep going. That's what he says. That is the ignorance which we are talking about, ignorance of the self. That is what has to be knocked off. Once we knocked off, everything else that has come along with that as baggage will go off. It will lose its hold on you. Therefore, you will not be held captive by all this wrong understanding, all your kama, krodha, ishta, nishta, sukha, dukkha, all those things will vanish. You will only face a situation and do what is needed to be done. To that extent, I understand. There is no papa punya involved in that. Yeah.
Swamiji, one thing I want to say one thing, Swamiji. Nyaya Shastra people, they didn't accept that Jivatma and Paramatma are one and the same.
Nyaya Shastra, see, the Nyaya Shastra itself is, the basis of Nyaya Shastra is that you as an individual is a reality and Bhagavan is a reality by himself. Duality is the basis for Nyaya Shastra. Whereas we don't, the duality does not exist. Shastra says, here also Bhagavan himself says there is only one Atma. Where is the second? Only when there is a second Nyaya, Shastra and all will apply. There is no second. There is oneness. Only one Atma, the being that also does not have any hands and legs and all that is not even a thing. What Nyaya we can talk about? Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Then verse 16.
If this is so, why do people think I am the doer, I am the enjoyer, I am performing this ritual for this reason, and so on? There is nothing wrong with performing action to invoke the grace of the Lord. It is to be done as long as you do not understand Atma. Once you have the knowledge of the true nature of Atma, such action is not necessary. Presently, this knowledge is covered by ignorance, ajnanena avritam. The very fact that you do not know Atma is not a doer means there is ignorance. Since jnana, knowledge, can only take place in your mind, not knowing Atma means your mind is covered by ignorance. Here, jnana can be taken to mean either discriminative knowledge of Atma and Anatma or the mind. We can say either the mind is covered by ignorance or the discriminative knowledge is covered by ignorance. The idea being that knowledge is never created, it is only covered. Human beings are deluded because the discriminative knowledge of Atma is covered by ignorance. And what is the moha delusion here? I am a doer, I will do this, I will get this result, I will go to heaven, I will accomplish this by doing that, and so on, all of which is because knowledge is covered by ignorance. Verse 16. When ignorance is removed, the self is revealed as Brahman. Jnanena tu tat ajnanam esham nachitam atmanaha tesham adityavat jnanam prakashayati tatparam. Tu, whereas atmanaha, of the self, jnanena, by knowledge, esham, whose, tat, that, ajnanam, ignorance, nashitam, is destroyed, tesham, for them, jnanam, knowledge, adityavate, like the sun, tat param, the self as that Brahman, prakashayati, reveals. Whereas for those whose ignorance of the self is destroyed by knowledge, the knowledge reveals the self as that Brahman, like the sun reveals objects previously covered in darkness. Ajnana, ignorance, here is not the absence of knowledge, but is that which is opposed to knowledge. Ignorance exists only until it is removed by knowledge. The word ajnana is not to be interpreted as absence of knowledge because abhava, absence, cannot cause problems. Only bhava, presence of something, can cause problems. Therefore, ajnana is not jnana abhava, absence of knowledge. Ignorance is opposed to knowledge, and because it causes problems, ignorance is a very crucial issue. Because it is opposed to knowledge, ignorance has a status of existence as long as it lasts. However, in the wake of knowledge, it cannot exist at all. Therefore, ignorance can rule the roost only until another roost, knowledge, takes its place. When does ignorance go? Just as darkness is there until light comes in, so too, ignorance will be there until knowledge comes. This is what Krishna means when he says,
Yes?
She got frozen, Swamiji.
Yeah, why? Tell her.
Yeah. 1 second.
Can you tell her?
Yeah, I'm just calling her, Swamiji.
You're not picking up.
Yeah. 1 second, Swamiji. They left. I think they will join back. Where was she reading, Swamiji?
When does ignorance go?
Okay. Let me read from there.
Yeah.
When does ignorance go? Just as darkness is there.
Shall I read, Swamiji?
Okay.
Yeah, I read.
1 second.
Prashant is reading.
Just as darkness is there until light comes in, so too ignorance will be there until knowledge comes. This is what Krishna means when he says, ignorance of the self is destroyed by knowledge. Ignorance has bhava, and existence, and therefore causes error and problems. For example, ignorance of the rope causes the error of a snake, which causes fear. In dream too, ignorance of the waker on the part of the dreamer causes problems like a millionaire dreaming that he is a beggar and vice versa. By what knowledge is this ignorance destroyed? Just as ignorance of a pot can only be destroyed by knowledge of the pot and not by knowledge of cloth, so too ignorance of Atma can only be destroyed by knowledge of Atma. For whom is the ignorance of the self destroyed? The knowledge that the self is Brahman takes place in the minds of those who are ignorant. Krishna likens this knowledge to the sun. As the sun rises, 1 minute, Swamiji, my father is on the line. 1 minute. Hello? Internet illaya? Oh, internet is not working. Okay. They are on, okay, you listen. Current problem. Okay, they are on local call. They will be listening to the class.
Okay.
Yeah. Krishna likens this knowledge to the sun. As the sun rises, darkness rolls away. And not only does the sun cause the darkness to roll away, it also lights up everything there is. It also lights up everything there is. As the sun rises in the eastern sky, the darkness rolls away and the objects that previously were not visible now come to be lighted. Like the sun, self-knowledge destroys self-ignorance and reveals the self as Brahman, Tatparam Prakashayati, a fact that was previously not known. The analogy here between knowledge and the sun must be understood properly. Otherwise, this verse can be very confusing. It is not that knowledge that lights up the self that you can then see. Rather, knowledge destroys the ignorance you had about the self and reveals a fact that was unknown to you, the fact that you are Brahman. Knowledge does not light up the self itself is the light. Knowledge destroys the ignorance and reveals the nature of the self. This knowledge is vritti jnana. Vritti means thought. Here the vritti is aham brahmasmi, I am Brahman. This vritti takes place in the mind and is what is meant by the knowledge that destroys ignorance of the self revealing the truth about the self being Brahman. I am Brahman is the truth of all truths, the ultimate truth, Tattva, that one comes to recognize by this knowledge born of the teaching of the Shastra. Swamiji, you talk.
See, here, there is one thing.
Here. Yeah, 1 second, you talk. Yeah. நீங்க பேசுங்க அப்பா கேக்குறதான்னு பார்க்கலாம்.
Yeah, see, there is this Tattvamasi, that I am Brahman, okay? That is the truth of all truths, the ultimate truth that one comes to recognize by this knowledge born of the teaching of the Shastra. That is called Shastra Vichara, that is the equation. That is, you are one side, Brahman is on the other side, you equal to Brahman, okay? That is the Shastra Vichara. But to start with, you can appreciate this equation, that you must be able to, like, even that on the other side of the equation, Brahman is the Swarupa of Brahman. There is lot of this Jagat, Ishwaratvam, everything is there. You must be able to see the distinctness of Brahma Swarupam in the context of the world, Prakriti, all those things, and Saracharam, Papa, everything, the whole thing, Prapancham. What you call Prapancham, in the light of that, you must be able to see the Brahma Swarup. In the same way, your Swarupam, you must be able to see, keeping the body, mind, senses, all your Papa, Punya, all your, what you call the previous birth, this birth, and all your whatever has happened till now, what are your plans for the future, for the next 30 years, for the past 30 years, what has happened. All those things you must be able to discount and see the Swarupa. So that is where we are starting, that the first 6 chapters of Tvam Padartha, Bhagavan is telling you all the time about Atma. Atma means Swaya Swarupam, here and now, what you are. He keeps telling right from beginning that you are the being, that you are, which you are seeing, your own body, mind, senses, your own roles, everything, not our plus, minus, everything, Kamaha, Krodaha, Manyoha, everything, whatever you are seeing, that is what we are anyway doing, even in our day-to-day life. Like mother was telling, Kama, Karshan, Manyo, Karshan, we say Kaya, Vacha, Manasya, all, we are talking about ourselves only. I, the person, I am doing all these things. Kaya, Vacha, Manasya, all those actions which I have been doing, I am submitting to Narayana. That's my activities, qualification, capability, wealth, everything are my samagri. With that I am doing, I am living my life. And I am samarpanam, I am submitting them to Narayana. Okay? Even you are submitting all of them to Narayana, there should be some fellow who is submitting. All these things are being submitted to Narayana, means there is some fellow. He must be submitting. Who is that fellow? That fellow has to be none of these things. It cannot be your wealth, name, fame, capability, your money, body, mind, senses. You are not that. That is why you are able to surrender all of them to Narayana. Then who is that? That Swarupa is talking about as Atma. That point has to be very clear to all of us. Then only this, as he rightly says, I am Brahman is the truth of all truths, the ultimate truth. Tattva. Tattva means Tat and Tvam. Tvam means you, Tat means everything else. That equation is possible, that one can comes to recognize by the knowledge born of the teaching of the Shastra is only if your pramana understanding, Shabda pramana, when the Bhagavan says you are Atma, that has to be understood very clearly. You are Atma, you are not X, Y, Z. That has to be very, very clear. There cannot be any confusion. By the time we finish the 6th chapter, that should be thorough in our mind. I am Atma. Only for the purpose of statutory purpose, my Aadhaar card. Otherwise, I am Atma. So that clarity should be there. Once that is there, then the equation, then Vichara helps, further Vichara helps. Then Bhagavan is going to, next 6 chapters and next 6 chapters, is going to tell how Prakriti or Jagat as well as Ishvara is also the same Swarupa. That he is going to tell in the next 6 and 6, 12 chapters, 18 chapters. But in the first, till the 6th chapter, he wants it to be very clear, all of us to be very clear that I am Atma. And everything else is my samagri, my instruments. And that is why when you are Atma, where is the question of your doing? Doing is going to happen either in your body, mind or senses and all that. So how can Atma has no relation with the doer? Like for example, the clay, if you ask him if you ask him about the pot, suppose clay has got a it has got a voice, and if you ask him as a pot you look nice and all that, he will say what pot? I'm clay. I have nothing to do with pot, or I have nothing to do with kodam, or I have nothing to do with lid, or I have nothing to do with this vase. None of this. I have no ownership to any of them. I am just the clay. It is going to say that. He will get annoyed if you keep on talking about pot and kodam and all that. It has nothing to do with, no sambandham at all. Snana prapti kuda kadayadunu sollidum. The same thing to Atma. Atma does not have any snana prapti to any of these things. The doer, the thinker, the player, the entertainer, fellow who makes papa, fellow who makes punya and all that. But it is all happening. How it is happening? Because of ignorance. And who is doing it is a Maya. And this Maya, Avidya created ego. And like I have been telling right from the beginning, I have the Virandali in the marriage hall. He does not have any reality at all, absolutely. But it has been there. That is the beauty of the Prakriti or Maya. In the sense, Gettika, clever man's bluff. It has been going on for so many years in so many janmas. And the bluff has to be called. That's all. You don't have to do anything. Just call the bluff. And tell Bhagavan, yes, I am one with you. I agree. That's all. Then everything else makes it meaningful. That's what he says clearly. Aham Brahma Asmi. I am Brahman is the truth of all truths, the ultimate truth, Tattva. That one comes to recognize by this knowledge born of the teaching of the Shastra. He himself says that he doesn't hide anything. He is very clear about it. Only that he wants us to understand. Because Arjuna asks that, he is telling that this is the ultimate truth. And then he carries on. Yeah, now we can read. Want to read or will we do it tomorrow?
Oh, it's only before.
Verse 7.
I have no problem. We can do some more.
We'll stop here.
Yeah.
Continue tomorrow. Verse 17 to 20.
Verses 17 to 21.
21.
Yeah, that we have to start. But read this again. This 15, 16, we have to read it again and make it very clear. Connect it with the earlier second chapter and all that. And this Atma part of it has to be very clear as we proceed further. By the time we finish the 6th chapter, we should be very clear that I am Atma, the awareful being. This is my reality. Everything else is only role play. And then everything will fall in place. All the arguments, all the, the Papa, Punya, doership, what all roles they have, we will be able to be clear. And in the sense, when we interact also, we will be we will have that freedom of action, freedom in action. We don't have to shy away from action. We can play all our roles with a lot of freedom inside. That I am Atma, nothing, whatever that is happening is all happening to the roles. The sense, roles can be plus minus because it is bound to be like that, changing. Roles are always changing, so it has to be plus and minus only. It cannot be same all the time. So plus minus I will accept. I will do whatever possible to the extent I understand, to the extent circumstances I am aware of. My knowledge is always going to be limited. Whatever be, however high and mighty I have been, because there is so many PhDs all the time in all subjects. Continuously, it's all, knowledge is improving. Old knowledge is dying, new knowledge. Abhaditam Satyam is only I, the being. Every other knowledge is Bhaditam Satyam. Within a paradigm, it looks okay. We will continue that way. We don't lose anything, we don't gain anything. All those things are very, very clear in our mind. As we proceed further, by the time we finish 6th chapter, we should not be discussing thereafter Atma. Atma is very clear now. Now thereafter only Ishvara and Jagat we will discuss.
Swamiji, I've heard from Velukudi Krishnan discourse, if you do more of papam and then some amount of punyam, you go to heaven or you will remain there as long as your punyam is last. After that, you will be pushed down.
Yeah, Shine Punye Martya Logam Visanti. That's what Bhagavan also says that. Yeah.
And when you are pushed down, you will again be born, reborn. You will be born.
Yeah.
And to avoid all this, you must look at going to Vaikundam.
They would say Vaikundam.
Yeah. But Vaikundam, wherever you go, you have to come back. No, see, logically, if you go somewhere, you will come back or not. Whether it is Vaikundam or Kailasham, you call it. The Saivaits may call it Kailasham, Vaishnavis may call it Vaikundam. Going involves coming. Going means Jayati, Gachati. Whatever goes will come back. Whatever, like you put a stone up, it always comes back. That is a niyati. Nobody can object. Nobody can stop that niyati. So if you, whether it is Vaikundam or Kailasam, anywhere you go, you will have to come back only. Like even going to America, spending a lot of money, earning your entire year's savings, and go and spend it there, and you come back, earning again for the next 2 years trip. So it's all trip only. It is all tourism promotion. Vaikundam or Kailasham.
Well, my question is, if I am Atma, where is the question of going to heaven?
Yeah, because the problem is they don't accept. They don't let it be in the sense the Vaishnava tradition does not accept Atma, this one Atma, the Ishvara's Atma and your Atma is one and the same. There is only Atma. It is the only reality that they have, that your Atma, Jiva Atma has got a separate reality, Paramatma, Ishvara is separate reality, Paramatma is sitting in Vaikundam, so that you can go there and meet him. That is the philosophy. That is a philosophy that is called Vasishtadvaitam or Dvaitam or whatever. Dvaitam means two. That is Atma, that individual is an individual and Paramam, Ishvara are different realities. That is called Dvaitam. Whatever way you call it, Vishishtadvaitam, either you can call it yourself as you are a spark and he is the fire. Vishpulinga, that is, the Vishishtadvaita is called you are part of your Amsha of Ishvara. Whereas Dvaitam is very clear. You are Jivatma, Paramatma is Ishvara. That is clear Dvaitam. Vishishtadvaitam is masquerading as Advaitam, but it is actually Dvaitam. Because it is you are part Amsha and he is Purna. You are the spark in the fire and he is the fire. So either way, it is Dvaitam only. So Dvaitam means you have to go from here to there, which we don't. There is no, as per the Shastra, when it says Aham Brahmasmi, all Mahavakyas, all Upanishads, does not talk about Dvaitam at all. It talks about one being, oneness. So when we are discussing oneness, so we are not talking about going and coming and Papa Punya and all that. Papa Punya and all, it's all a matrix. It's all which I have told, it's a model to keep you sane so that you don't step onto other shows. பாவம் வரும்பா தப்பு பண்ணாதுன்னா அட்லீஸ்ட் அடுத்தவனையாவது பாதிக்காம இருப்பேன். That's the model, that's all. There is no sanctity because nobody has gone and seen how many punya was, nobody done the calculation. All Chitragupta, everything is only a model being described. We have not seen any of those things. The problem is we are willing to believe in what we have not seen and instead of understanding what is the reality here and now. That is the difference. That is what we have to contemplate upon. Yeah.
Even Brahma himself is not eternal. This is what.
Brahma. There are two things, Kumar. There are two things. One is Brahmaji. That is why Swamiji always referred to as Brahmaji. Brahman is different from Brahmaji. Brahmaji is a creator, is again part of the model. A fellow Hiranyagarbha, you call it, Ishvara, you call it, or Brahmaji, you call it. That is all model of Brahmaji is supposed to be the creator. Shiva is Rudram is supposed to be the destroyer. Vishnu is the protector. All are models. All are models in the prakriyas which you are using to explain Punya, Papa and the whole thing, Prakriti. But Brahman which we are talking about is, which I have explained before, Brih Dhatu, limitless. That is not Desa Kala Vastu Aparichinnam. That is not bound by space or time or vastu. It is not even a thing. It is a being. When that is the reality of Brahman, you cannot, your Atma also is the same Swarupa. So you are also spaceless, timeless, vastuless being. So naturally you and Ishvara are one and the same, automatic. By understanding only, we can easily make out that there cannot be a Jivatma which is separate from Paramatma. There is only one Atma, Brahma Atma. That's all. Pratyek Atma bolo, Brahma Atma bolo, everything is one and the same. But the thing is that once you make the oneness is the reality, that's all. That is what we are talking about. So when it becomes very obvious that once you say timeless, spaceless, objectless being, not a thing, it cannot be two. It can be only one. Even one you cannot say, just the being. That is the only reality. In that being, the whole prapancha is moving, whole Nataraja. Just by, as I told you, that if you have a particular instrument with a glowing tip, if you rotate it, it will say, I love you. Actually, there is only a glow. But when you rotate it in a speed, it comes out with words, I love you. But nobody will know, words are there, no letters are there, only the glow is there. In the same way, only the being is there. Everything else, prapancham is basically because of the movement. It is all in a flux and appears as objects and things and activities and you and me. That is the reality we are talking about. One being, the being is the reality. And nirvisesham is the reality. All savisesham is possible. Basically, savisesham is possible because of nirvisesham. Since you the being, I the being, all the beings are there which are nirvisesham, you are able to put a visesham called Kumar, Prashant, Mami, and we are able to interact. Because all these vishesham belong to the same being. I tell you, the reality is the same. We are able to do all these transactions.
Verse, no?
Yeah, it is. I will not check. I will not check. I will check it out tomorrow. Tomorrow, when I will tell you which sloka it is. Yeah. Om Namah Pranam. Namah Purnasya